Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Super Metroid Randomizer Accessible Tournament race between Toasty and Joonie. This is one that I've been looking forward to since I saw it was announced. This should be an excellent race between these two runners. Both of these runners have done SMRAT, I believe, 3 times. I don't remember how far Toasty got in the first one. I think he got, he might have even gotten to the finals of the first Super Metroid Randomizer Accessible Tournament. Both these runners are excellent runners, and I'm looking forward to see how they do. Looks like the gate just went down, and the race should be starting shortly. So which suit do we think that we're going to find first? I'll say Gravity this time because I've been seeing a lot of early Varias lately. I think that an early Gravity will be kind of interesting between these two runners to see what decisions each of them make. Early Varia normally just means that runners will go down, but early Gravity can lead to many, many different places. And it looks like we're off. So it looks like Toasty is doing that parlor moonfall, but Joonie does not. Joonie, however, does have moonfall on, so both runners will be using moonfall. And both of them getting pitless, very nice. It's a pretty difficult trick early in the game. A lot of the early game rooms are some of the harder rooms in the game, actually. They just don't seem quite as hard because we do them so often. And of course, Morph Ball at the Morph Ball pedestal. The only item that can be there. We'll see if we get early power bombs to let us check all of the different locations in Blueprint Star early, or if we get something different here. And we have supers. Okay. So we got 2 more item checks to see if we have early power bombs before having to go back up the elevator and go to Bomb Chorizo. In the ceiling, we have more supers. So both runners are going to want those. Although, oh, Ice Beam. So that puts them in logic, actually. And that kind of bails Joonie out for having missed the damage boost, because now he can just freeze this enemy. Oh, but he killed the enemy instead. So he's just going to go for this backup damage boost. I like getting these supers quite a bit. I think that not having very many supers early in the game can be a real pain. And I like this from Joonie too, turning off the Ice Beam to start. Ice Beam is just super annoying, especially if you don't have missiles. They only have supers right now. If you have missiles, sometimes you can just use those missiles to kill all these enemies, but with supers you definitely don't want to do that. And it looks like Toasty is turning off the Ice Beam as well. So we won't be able to check any of these early locations, like under Mother Brain or anything, because we don't have any explosives, but we'll find either bombs or power bombs at Bomb Chorizo. And both of these runners doing the ledge grab climb. That is interesting. I much prefer the wall jump climb, because it feels like when you mess up the ledge grab climb, it's really hard to recover from, for me at least. But I know some other people prefer the ledge grab climb. And they're both about the same speed, so it all comes down to preference, what strat you want to do. So we'll see now what's at Bomb Chorizo, and it is power bombs, so that's the normal thing to see there. There's something like a 95% chance that it's power bombs and just like 5% chance it's bombs, but early power bombs, I would expect both runners to go down to 230 missiles and then probably head through Terminator. We'll see if any of them make a different decision. Okay, it looks like Toasty isn't even going to 230. That's pretty interesting. And Junie will be going to 230, and we see a grapple beam a Terminator. So that puts Wreck Ship before Fantoon into logic, the item at the bottom of the ocean, and spooky missiles. We'll see what's at the back of Gauntlet. It was just an E-Tank at 230 missiles, so Toasty not missing out on too much. That being said, that E-Tank's actually pretty good here. It's really, really, really annoying to navigate the early game without any E-Tanks. Going through, like, the Etiquette's basement, or all the different side hopper rooms at Big Pink. So that E-Tank might even end up being worth it for Junie, even though it's not great. Junie picking up his grapple beam. And we'll get to see what's at early supers. Most of these items aren't in logic. The only item that is under the bridge there, and it was just power bombs. So, supers at the reserve tank location, missiles at the first Rompo location, and supers. So, nothing too impressive here yet. It's still nice to find extra supers. Having a lot of supers early is really nice, not having to worry about ammo too much. And still no E-Tanks. No E-Tanks means that E-Tank from Junie is going to be a lot better for him. And more supers at early supers. So I would expect Toasty to pick up those power bombs before heading to Etiquette's here. And he does. Junie just going to be picking up the items that Toasty just did. And Toasty using a power bomb to kill these the B-Toms. That's a pretty interesting strat. So the reason to do that there is because he wants to conserve missiles. Because you could just use one missile to kill them. I guess also to conserve health. Normally you'll take one hit from each of the B-Toms if you missile them, so I'm guessing it's more about health than about conserving a missile. But he got an E-Tank anyway, which that's actually a really nice find for him, because now he doesn't have to worry about his health too much down here. We'll see what's at the Etiquette's power bomb, and it is just another super. So we're already at 30 supers. This is really early to have that many supers. Means that we probably won't need to worry about finding charge at all this seed. It's very likely that there's just going to be enough stuff in the way, kind of, to have enough ammo by the end of the game. Now, after Big Pink, I think is going to be one of the more interesting decisions to make, depending on whether we get a power bomb, screw attack, bombs, anything like that. We could see some runners elect to do reverse meme route, seeing as we didn't get power bombs early. It would allow them to check things like Behind More, Billy Mays, Old Mother Brain, stuff like that. And for Toasty, it would allow him to check 230 because he didn't check that early. Otherwise, there's also the decision of whether to go down or up. And we do get an extra power bomb pack, so the runners will have the option to, if they elect to do reverse meme route, they will be able to, so. Got supers at the charge missile. as Junie is entering Big Pink now. Toasty laying a power bomb to destroy both these blocks and open the door. And Spore Spawn Supers is vanilla. So we're already at 45 supers. They only really need like 5 more super packs now to be in ammo go mode. Or the equivalent of 5 super pack, I think. And it looks like we'll see charge here from Junie while Toasty is checking Wavegate. Wavegate's non-logic, but it often does have some pretty good stuff. We've got more power bombs at Charge Beam, and just supers at Wavegate. So now Junie will be checking the locations that Toasty just checked, as Toasty will be the first to make the decision on what to do from here. Toasty picks up the extra power bombs. I like picking up to 20, especially early. I think that getting to 20 early means that you don't have to worry about farming very much. Otherwise, even when you've got 15, a lot of times you still have to farm a decent amount. And we have a Spazer Beam found at the Green Hill Zone. And Toasty not reverse me routing, so now we'll have to see whether he decides to go up or down, and whether he decides to check X-ray before making that decision. He starts going down. Okay, he's going to X-ray first. So X-ray is a little bit dangerous. These spikes do 60 damage, so Toasty can only take 2 hits. The third hit kills him. He should be fine, though. He's a very skilled runner. Worry too much. Junie also finding a Spazer. And we find power bombs. And interesting, Toasty elects to pick up those power bombs. And Junie, this is a little bit yeah, if you don't morph heading into this room and you don't have screw attack, you're always going to take a hit from one of those side hoppers. So I normally like to morph heading into it. But we'll see how far Junie likes to go. He might just turn back now, but he just keeps going through. So we'll see a pretty big route divergence here, with Toasty checking. Looks like going down and check Kraid, check Spazer, and check High Jump. And Junie will be checking Billy Mays, will be checking probably Old Mother Brain, and then probably heading into Red Ship. And we have another E-Tank at Spazer. And at Billy Mays, we've got supers and missiles. So nothing too impressive there. It'll be pretty interesting if something's at Red Tower, because I think neither of these runners are going to find that for a little bit. might make it really close between them. Joonie heading up the elevator, and it's just a missile at this item in Kraid's lair for Toasty. So this will probably be one of the last item checks for Joonie. In this route that gives it an advantage over just going straight up from Red Tower, and that's a super. So meme route not really paying off for Joonie here. I guess it could if there's something at Gauntlet, at the front of Gauntlet, and he checks it. But I think it's pretty likely that he'll skip the front of Gauntlet. And we'll see if Toasty gets a stand-up Kraid, or if he gets the quick kill. Oh, messed it up. So we will have a stand-up Kraid here. Okay, but reasonably well done stand-up Kraid. Looks like Joonie is refilling. We'll see if he takes the save and then checks the front of Gauntlet, or if he just continues through. Oh, and there is Gravity Suit. And Toasty leaves, saying, heck that Gravity Suit. Huh, this is interesting. So, I don't know if these runners had a pre-race agreement not to pick up Gravity, maybe? That would be pretty interesting. I'm not sure how that'll work. Although there is suitless, so if they did, this will work. Because now they have high jump, they have ice, and they have grapple. So they can do suitless if they want. You're not guaranteed to have these items, though, before Meridia. So that is... If they had a gentleman's agreement to skip Gravity, you would have to kind of be hoping for this. And this is what happened. It's really too bad that wasn't Varia, because this would basically be go mode at this point for Toasty then. And I'm interested that Joonie is actually going all the way through Gauntlet, just for this missile and the E-Tank. Although, oh my gosh, that's both suits. So what would be a Jet Seed for Toasty, because of this gentleman's agreement or whatever, he can't take it. This would be an insane seed. Like, this might be a sub 50 if he had been able to pick up both of these suits. But as it is, this is going to be a lot more interesting, I'll say that much. So I guess that picking up that E-Tank really does make sense from Joonie if he's planning to do a full suitless Voran Warfare. And there's a Wave Beam. So that's kind of interesting. Some items that they're really going to be looking for to complete this full suitless would be Screw Attack, Space Jump. They already have the high jump boots. Plasma would be a big help. Yeah, I think that those are the biggest items that they're going to be looking for. They don't really need Charge Beam. They've already got Grapple, too. Grapple is a big item for both Suitless. Yeah, speed is actually less important for both Suitless. It's not a big deal in Lower Norfair. It's kind of nice to have, to do like fast pillars and whatnot, but it's definitely not necessary. Just got supers at the front half of Alpha Power Bombs. And Power Bombs. Oh, and there is Screw Attack. Wow. Yeah, lots of Power Bombs, and I think that the biggest thing that they're missing right now is lots of E-Tanks. So right now, Toasty only has 3 E-Tanks, and so does Junie. We'll need to see how many E-Tanks they want before they're ready to go. At this point, their ammo looks really, really good. They've got High Jump, they've got Screw Attack, they've got Grapple. This is basically a perfect loadout already for full Suitless. All you would really want from here is Space Jump and maybe Plasma. I guess bombs are also kind of nice to have in Suitless Lower Norfair, because then you don't have to use Power Bombs to break all of the blocks. You can conserve them for Crystal Flashes. It looks like Toasty will be going through Gauntlet, if I had to guess from here. And from there, I would guess that he's likely to also check 230, maybe? And given that how many items we're going to need, I would expect to see Junie full clear this wreck ship. Oh, Junie, or Toasty just heading to the ship and then going to wreck ship. Interesting. Maybe he wants the routing of going through meme route after wreck ship. That is much better routing than going there now and then going to wreck ship. Oh, and there is Space Jump. Wow. It's like the seed was rolled to allow them to do exactly what they want to do. Like, you have all of these movement items. Like, yeah, this is just crazy. You got Grapple. So you got Grapple, High Jump, Space Jump, Screw Attack. The only thing that's missing so far has been E-Tanks, although there is an E-Tank for Junie. Yeah, and the fact that you have Ice, Grapple, High Jump too, so that you can do full Suitless Meridia as well, that's pretty crazy. Junie takes the save before heading over to the wreck ship E-Tank location. I would imagine we'll see a reset if it's not an E-Tank. E-Tank, Plasma, Charge, or Speed. Or a Reserve Tank. I think he might take a Reserve Tank as well. And we have missiles. So I'm expecting a reset here. Yep. So yeah, the only thing that we're looking for now, basically, is E-tanks. Just more and more E-tanks. I'd imagine once we get up to about 9 to 10 total E-tanks and reserves, maybe 11, that we'll see these runners enter their go mode. I'd also imagine that we're going to see them continue to pick up supers, and probably missiles and power bombs as well, as they come across them, because having extra of those just makes US War Warfare much easier. Yeah, I don't think that you want to keep that missile. You'll probably find more missiles later. I would say that you want like 35 missiles or so for US War Warfare, though. Missiles are one of the hardest things to farm in War Warfare, so getting a lot of them heading into War Warfare is really good. Just for crystal flashes. Fan-tune down for Toasty. Joonie's struggling to get through these robots a little bit. Just got supers at the robot room, but Joonie selecting to pick them up. Gets through that robot nicely, though. And Toasty will be finding a space jump. As we'll get to see the rest of the top of wreck ship. Oh, we got an E-tank. That's a really nice find for Joonie. So I think... So once Joonie goes down Red Tower, he's going to find one more E-tank. Yeah, Joonie's going to want that missile. I don't think there are any more tanks after Joonie finds that reserve tank. There might be one more down somewhere around Kraid's area. I don't remember. Ooh, Toasty taking a 200 damage from that spike in the spiky room of death. That room is not a joke when you don't have any suits. Toasty finds that missile and also resets. Yeah, I don't think the charge would do that much for them, but plasma would be very nice to allow them to clip through enemies in War Warfare. Although with screw attack, it's a lot less necessary. And just a missile here, behind bowling. And I'd imagine we'll get to see what's at the wreckship reserve tank, although I wouldn't blame him for not even checking, but he will. So one thing I'm really wondering is how Toasty feels after finding both suits so early and not being able to pick them up. Wonder if he's regretting making this deal not to have any suits. So at 40 missiles, I think that's plenty for US War Warfare. Don't really need any more than that. Toasty picking up his E-tank. And Junie going back to Criteria's soup power bombs. Toasty not picking up that missile. Don't really agree with that, just because you're going to need missiles in Modern Warfare, but you probably will have opportunities to pick them up later. So it's not that bad to skip it. That couldn't be the deal, I don't think, Pranker, because they found both suits. So I'm just assuming that they agreed not to pick up any suits at all. That's what would make sense to me. Yeah, I'd imagine that Junie will find that screw attack pretty quickly though, Galen. I'd imagine he's gonna check pretty much everything before going into the heated rooms, and then I will say that Toasty does have a pretty big item advantage, but Junie has a little bit of an E-tank advantage. Yeah, Toasty deciding to pick up this missile. I like this a lot. Yeah, Criteria Power Bomb was just a missile. And I think this was the reserve tank, so Junie will be picking this up. Then he'll go down to Elf Power Bombs and find a screw attack. Yeah, that's exactly what I think happened in stack. They're going to be basically checking all the same stuff, but just in different orders than each other. Junie definitely wants that screw attack. I'm curious which route is going to end up being more efficient. So Junie still has to kill Kraid and check high jump and Spazer, and X-ray if he wants to check that, though he could skip it. But Toasty's probably going to go completely through meme route. Both going to enter heated rooms after that. So we'll have to see which one of them enters the heated rooms first, and that person's probably going to be ahead. What's the prediction? Was the prediction which suit is picked up first, or is it which suit is found first? Because we found Gravity first. Yeah. We did find Gravity suit, so... Toasty picking up his E-tank at the back of Gauntlet. So now he is at the same number of E-tanks that Junie is at. If he checks 230, he'll be at one more. Toasty wanted that missile, but it's not that big of a deal not to get it. Yeah, the Gauntlet with Screw is much faster for Toasty, so that's going to give him a bit of an advantage over Junie's route. And Toasty's still not checking 230. I don't agree with this. And he's really, really going to be missing that E-tank when he's doing Modern Warfare. Maybe he just forgot that he didn't check it. Yep, there's the other E-tank that Toasty found at Spazer. So these will be all of the E-tanks that Junie will have before he enters heated rooms. Huh, that's an interesting question, Reed. I think it's possible. I'd imagine that heated rooms are faster to get items from than Suis Meridia rooms, so I would guess that we're going to see Suis Meridia rooms first. But if they're really not comfortable with going down to Lorn Orpher yet, then I could imagine seeing them do that. Junie picking up that missile. And Toasty electing to at least pick up the superhero abilities. Yeah, not breaking the tube is definitely correct here, because you want to have the nice Suis Meridia entry. And if you break the tube, then you can't enter it very well. Yeah, Toasty does get to Meridia first, because Junie will likely be checking high jump. And even without that, yeah, I think the Toasty is in the lead. So Toasty's in the lead in terms of how far he is, but missing that one E-tank is enormous. Having 5 in a reserve tank is much different than 6 in a reserve for Suis Lorn Orpher. Neither way, you're really gonna want to go to Lorn Orpher yet, but 6 in a reserve at least is possible that you make it through. And yep, Junie not picking up the gravity either, so both of them are playing by the rules they set out. And honestly, who's ahead right now doesn't really matter very much. What matters is who dies less in Lorn Orpher, I think. It might seem like someone's way ahead at some points, but then like a couple of untimely deaths, which are very likely when they're doing something like this, and the other runner all of a sudden is way ahead. Both runners are entering Norfair at about the same time, but Junie still needs to check high jump, whereas Toasty can just head straight into the heated rooms. Oh, and Junie electing to go to Meridia first, it seems like. So, yep, we've got more route divergence. Toasty taking a save. I'm not sure Toasty needs to take a save here. I guess he's probably going to check ice. That's why he's taking the save. He's got a really comfy loadout for the Cathedral heated rooms. But going to ice, he can reset if there's nothing here, so... Oh. Messed that up a little bit. Nice Suis Meridia so far from Junie. Froze the fish, I think, a little bit too high. Might have been able to get it anyway, but... That looks pretty good. Yeah, there he goes. And there is a reserve at Crab Supers. Without Spring Ball, we're not going to be able to pick that up yet. But that's good to keep in mind in case he finds Spring Ball. Just a missile at ice. And it looks like Junie might be trying to pick that up anyway. Maybe there's a way to pick it up that I don't know about. Okay, yeah, you can just jump morph. I didn't think that was high enough to do that, but I guess I was wrong. And I'd imagine that Junie is probably going to go check Mama Turtle now. And yeah, Toasty doesn't find anything, so he resets. It's not so much about the time in terms of getting back to this room. It's more about the health. He wanted to conserve health so he could do this heated room run without having to worry about that too much. We have supers at Cathedral Missile. It's not very exciting there. Now we'll have Junie checking this item. Oh, and there's Spring Ball. So that's a pretty nice item for Sulis Meridia. That means that Junie won't have to do Grapple Escape if he doesn't want to. He won't have to do pretty much... He can also not do a Crystal Flash suit on Dragon. He can just normal Grapple Heal Dragon, and then Grapple Escape out and use Spring Ball jumps. So it makes that fight much easier. There's an E-Tank at Norfolk Reserve. That's a really nice find for Toasty. And Toasty electing not to pick up another Power Bomb pack. I guess he feels like 40, 70, 35 is enough. I think that is probably enough, but I still might want to pick up a few more Power Bomb packs just in case. Now we'll get to see what's at speed. A reserve tank, that's another nice find for Toasty. Not as nice as an E-Tank, but still will be very useful in Lower Norfair. And Plasma Beam, that's also a nice find. Although that will be a little bit annoying in Meridia. Might want to turn it off, and so that he doesn't have to worry about double hitting any enemies. And Junie electing to check Beach before checking... Or no, check Watering Hole before checking Beach. I guess he figures he's going to be checking Beach anyway. Or Watering Hole anyway, no matter what what's at Beach. So he may as well check it first. Double Power Bombs. And Junie elects to pick at least one of them up. Toasty's going to need to be a little bit careful with his health here. Oh, there's an E-Tank, though. Unfortunately, triggers his reserve, but should still be fine. And it's just a missile at Wave Beam. So now I'd imagine we'll see Toasty go to Croc. And then we'll see what's at Croc. If he finds... Yeah, Toasty missing out on that E-Tank at 230 missiles is so enormous. Like, 8 E-Tanks and 2 reserves, you're getting really, really close to being able to go to Lower Norfair now. Oh, and there's speed. That's a nice find for Toasty. Not as nice as it could have been in, like, pretty much any other situation in a normal seed, but it's still a nice find even here. It'll speed up Torian, it'll speed up Lower Norfair a bit. And yep, Toasty will be heading to Croc. Yeah, we'll also speed up Croc and Norfair. Toasty might turn off speed for the lava dive, yeah. It does screw up lava dive a little bit, because when you have speed equipped, your lava dive doesn't... You can't move as fast in lava as you could otherwise. And Croc is a nice putrid green color. I like it. And there's another E-Tank at Croc E-Tank. So I think the Toasty is hoping for 1 or 2 more E-Tanks here. And then gonna head into Lore Norfer. Yeah, even given what they're doing, this is kind of still a jet seed for what they're doing. Like, it just gives you everything that you would want. Nice spike suit from Toasty, too. We'll see how he elects to use that one. Yeah, it depends on the items you have. Suicide Warfare isn't too bad sometimes. Without gravity, though, it can be a lot more difficult. All of the enemies do 200 damage instead of doing 50. There's a reserve tank at Baboon E-Tank. That's a nice find for Joonie. Toasty electing not to check cosine room yet. Probably check it on the way out. Just a missile at Indiana Jones. And at grapple, we have power bombs. Toasty electing not to pick those up. So, if Toasty can make it through Lore Norfer, I think that he's ahead. Oh, and he wastes his spike suit. That's too bad. But that's a big question of whether he can or not. This is a really tough loadout to do that with. And more power bombs at cosine room, so this is what Toasty will have going into Lore Norfer, unless he decides to do Meridian now. Did either of these runners check Croc Escape? Toasty did? What was there? It was just ammo? Okay, so... Yep, it looks like he's farming up. I'd imagine he'll take a save here. Yep, he does. And then head to Lore Norfer. I think that he'll probably try to farm as many power bombs as he can from the violas in the pre-lava dive room, if I had to guess. But other than that, he's full on pretty much everything. Oh, nice Shine Spark from Toasty, too. Yeah, Joonie never went to high jump boots, that's right. Joonie going for the grapple kill on Dragon now. And nicely done. Gets his blue suit as well from that. So Toasty not doing the bounce ball entry into Lava Dive. This should be fine anyway. Hopefully he's able to get this first try. An E-Tank at Dragon, that's really big for Joonie. And nicely done by Toasty. I'd imagine we'll see a save here. And then he'll probably... I don't know how it works down the elevator. He might be able to go down the elevator in the Crystal Flash right afterwards. He might also have to do it before the elevator. Okay, he's going to try to do it after. We'll see how this works out. Yeah, you take damage on the elevator, so I don't know if he'll have enough energy now. Okay, he does. Cool. That power bomb was a little bit later than I would have liked it, but works out for Toasty. And I imagine we'll see him go to GT to start, both for the energy refill, to refill some super missiles off of the Rippers, for all of those reasons. And to get a possible energy tank at Screw Attack. We'll have to see what's there. I think he's standing a little bit close for the screen gate, but maybe not. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, and I think that he'll want to try to refill supers now, as much as possible. But he checks this item first, and that's more supers. So yep, he'll take the energy refill, and he's going to want to try to get to Fire Fleas next, probably, without doing a Crystal Flash, if he can. So at this point, if I had to guess, I would say that Joonie's probably in the lead, but there is no definitive person in the lead at all. It'll all come down to how many times Lord Arthur takes each of them. Pretty easy worst room in the game for Toasty with high jump, space jump, screw attack. And he'll be able to get to, Thank you for that prompt. Oh, only I can see that? Never mind. But yeah, Joonie finds supers and missiles here at left sandpit. And what was that at Fire Fleas? I didn't see it very well. Oh, Charge Beam, yeah. Yeah, that's... it's not actually going to be huge, because Toasty wants to kill Ridley with supers. It's a lot faster to kill Ridley with supers than even killing Ridley with the full beam combo. But it still is pretty nice. He can... he won't have to refill at the ship at the very least. Before Torian. He probably... yeah, I'd imagine he wants to turn ice back on now, and he does. And Joonie now is heading into Norfair. We'll see how much he checks. At this point, he might feel comfortable with just going into Lore Norfair like this, but he might want a couple more things too. I'd imagine we'll at least see him check high jump. And yeah, Toasty's gonna have to do a Crystal Flash here, so he's waiting for his health to tick down enough. Joonie picking up that power bomb and high jump eating. And we'll get to see what's that power bombs of shame. It is a super, and Toasty electing not to pick it up. Toasty's gonna have to be pretty careful. He's only got really like easily 2, maybe 3 Crystal Flashes left because of his missile count. Like I was saying earlier, missiles are the hardest things to farm up, in Lore Warfare. So he can farm power bombs before Ridley without too much problem, but farming missiles will be very, very tough. He will get some missile drops from Ridley though, and that will be nice. Oh, he got an unfortunate health drop from one of those violas. It's not going to be a huge deal. Still has enough power bombs at this point, but... Okay, it looks like he's planning to go into Ridley after doing a Crystal Flash here. So I think that this will be fine for Ridley, but getting out of Ridley is going to be the difficult part. Yeah, if there's an E-Tank at Ridley, it makes it a lot easier for Toasty. If not, then next time he might not be able to, or he might not be able to get out of it this time, if there's not an E-Tank there. Yeah, we still haven't seen bombs, so bombs are very likely to be at Ridley too. Pretty good Ridley fight so far. And conserving supers to try to be able to Crystal Flash after this. If there are power bombs at Ridley, that could also possibly allow him to Crystal Flash depending on how many drops he gets. That's really nice power bomb drops. So he's only... Yeah, he might be fine, actually. Oh, and there's an E-Tank! Wow! That is enormous. So, Toasty will probably farm up to be able to have enough power bombs to Crystal Flash one more time. He's got enough supers, he's got enough missiles. He just needs more power bombs. And he'll probably just go from there. I think that he should be good. He's gonna want to farm up to about 14 or so power bombs. He might leave the room and come back once to... 13 might be enough, though. Yeah, he's just gonna go. Yeah, he's fine, actually. Yeah, get that power bomb. Oh, he's going back to farm a couple more power bombs, it looks like. Okay, there we go. And now he should be good. So now this is a little bit risky for Toasty still. He's still in kind of a... Oh god, he took a hit. Okay, he's still fine, he's still fine. Yeah, he just needs a Crystal Flash here. I think now the limiting factor is actually going to be his supers. There aren't a lot of good places to farm supers now that he's past this area of Lore Warfare. Nice job not taking a hit there. You can farm power bombs from Fire Fleas, but... Actually, did he not pick up the supers? At Fire Fleas? No, that was Charge Beam. He didn't pick up the supers at, Power Bombs of Shame. So I'm curious to see what Toasty does here. It looks like he's just going for it. So this will be huge if he makes it out like this. I wonder if he'll check any items, or if he'll just go. He is checking this item. It is X-ray, and he definitely does want that. But this is going to slow him down and make it harder to get out. Takes a little dip in the acid, not too bad. And Junie is just going for it. So Junie makes it through his lava dive, nicely done. And keeps his reserves, that's huge too. And Toasty makes it out, so now Junie has Lorne Orpher left, and Toasty has Meridia left, and I think that Toasty is ahead. I'd imagine that Meridia will be faster than Lorne Orpher, and it spits you out closer to where you need to be. Toasty taking this farm. I'd almost rather just go to the energy refill. Because Meridia hurts a lot. Okay, yeah, he's just going to the energy refill. That is what he's doing. Just wanted to farm enough to get there. And I'm curious if Toasty's going to turn off his plasma beam for the start of Meridia. And I like this a lot from Toasty. So going this way might be a little bit slower. And it might even be faster, I have no idea. But it definitely saves a lot more health than going through Croc Escape. Spring Ball? Spring Ball was at Mama Turtle E-Tank. Yeah, 18 Power Bomb should be plenty for Toasty. That gives you enough for Crystal Flash. I don't imagine Toasty will find Spring Ball. But I think he'll be fine without it. Junie taking a save. And I imagine that if either of these runners take a death, then that's going to be what cost them at this point. I think this is still a pretty close race. Unequip Plasma so that you don't kill the fish. You don't have Spring Ball as a backup, so you really don't want to kill these fish and then have to reload the room. Oh man, Junie's in a little bit of trouble here. Yeah, he's gonna have to Crystal Flash. I like playing it safe here like this. Yeah, and Junie has enough ammo that he'll be able to just kind of wait around and Crystal Flash before Ridley and still have plenty to Crystal Flash after. He picks up a lot more ammo than Toasty did. Toasty makes it through Mount Everest. As I imagine, Junie will be getting ready to Crystal Flash. He's probably going to take a dip in the acid just to do it a little bit faster. Technically, he could have just gone into Ridley like that without even Crystal Flashing, but that would have been a very difficult fight. We see Junie taking his Crystal Flash, as Toasty is saving. Pre-bot wound. And I'm curious. So, Toasty is going to want to turn Plasma back on now so that he can microwave bot wound. He might microwave Dragon as well. You can get the blue suit from Dragon and then microwave instead of grapple killing. I think it would optimally be faster to grapple kill anyway, but it's a good backup to have. Yeah, I don't imagine that we'll see a Spike Suit escape from Toasty because he doesn't have Spring Ball, and Spike Suit is a lot harder to grapple out with. Junie makes it through Ridley, and he will be rewarded with that E-Tank. So I think this will really come down to whether Toasty is able to get through this Dragon fight first try. Yeah, both of these runners have a lot of Suitless experience. Both of them do all of the kind of Suitless categories and whatnot. So how quickly can Junie get out? Now I think that this is probably Junie in the lead. It's still pretty close though, so I'm not 100% confident in saying that. Nice speedball from Junie. They'll have to see if Junie takes any unfortunate errors the rest of the way. Yeah, having Space Jump is huge though for Toasty. That makes this room much, much, much faster. Both going in and coming out. Yep, Toasty taking a save just in case. Yeah, we'll have to see how fast this Dragon kill is. Toasty is probably going to want to train his reserves. Is this too much health for Toasty? This is a lot of health to be going in with because of those reserves. Okay, he took a hit. That's actually pretty good for him. Okay, he got down to enough energy. Should be fine. And yeah, I think the Junie is ahead, actually. It's hard to see earlier. Although Toasty does get a really nice pattern. If Dragon lets him go. Hopefully Toasty gets another group pattern here. And he does. Very nice. Come on, quick grapple. Nice. Okay. So we've still got a race. I think Junie's still ahead, even with all of the really good luck there from Toasty. But now it's a lot closer than it could have been. Toasty picking up this ammo is going to hurt him a bit, though. It's really just got to go. Struggling a little bit with this grapple escape, too. Okay, he got it. Nicely done. Yeah, Toasty also does have the stand-up advantage, that is correct. That'll save about 18 seconds or so. And he has the advantage that he doesn't have to ship refill. That's about another 12 seconds or so. Charge and supers are the same, damage per second optimally. Yeah, I think Junie is a little bit too far ahead for these little differences to make a difference. I think he's probably about 2 minutes ahead right now. Maybe a little less than that, maybe like a minute and a half. But those differences will make it, probably bring it down to about a minute difference. Well, stand-up only makes beams faster during the stand-up. Yes, you can do stand-up without suits. It's actually a bit easier to do stand-up without suits, because you don't have to damage yourself down at all. You just need to be under like 300 some number of health after Mother Brain's beam. I think it's like 370 or something like that you need to be under, so that Mother Brain doesn't fire another beam. Yeah, and from here, I think the Toasty is about a minute and a half away from G4. Oh, and he kills the fish. I will say Mother Brain is a little bit harder without any suits. You really don't want to be taking catch-ups, but I think even a catch-up hit wouldn't kill. Maybe it would. Maybe a double hit catch-up would. I think a catch-up does 400 damage, so a double hit catch-up would be 800 right now. Hopefully Toasty doesn't refill. Yep, he's not. Nice. And we've got baby skip for Junie. Let's see if he manages to get this. That baby is rotating pretty close to him. He's gonna have to do a couple of extra jumps to try to get it. And he got it. Nicely done. Yeah, Space or Baby Skip isn't. That's what they do in New Route. It's not very different from Plasma Baby Skip in Old Route. He's still got Wave Beam too, so. Toasty is now entering Metric Room 1. Kills all of them. Junie having a little bit of issues with that Zub skip. Opts to turn off the screw attack. Oh, this could give Toasty a bit of an opportunity to catch back up. Junie also needs to be pretty careful with his health. He's got 3 reserves. So he's effectively got like a little under 300 damage he can take during this fight. And that's not actually a whole lot, given that he doesn't have any suits. So he's going to need to be really careful here. Toasty going for his baby skip. And nicely done. And it looks like Junie has made it through Mother Brain 2, so he should be able to get the win now. He's far enough ahead. Stand-up won't matter enough. But this will end up being a pretty close race still. There'll probably be about a minute and a half or so separating these two. Toasty finishes Mother Brain 1 as the baby attaches to jooniejoone. And Toasty starting his Mother Brain 2 fight. Toasty doesn't really need to take any damage there, but it's fine to take one hit. Or maybe he did need to take one. I didn't see exactly how much health he was at. He might have been at basically full. So. And Toasty starting his stand-up glitch. Head down for jooniejoone from Mother Brain 3. Yeah, both suits were very in the way. Gravity's suit was at Kraid, at Varia suit, and Varia suit was at high jump. Yeah, this was a pretty crazy seed. It was pretty fun to watch. It was really hard to tell who was ahead for most of the race. Junie just doing the normal spark. I don't blame him. You don't want to get stuck in that acid without any suits. Yeah, this seed was very accommodating for full suitless. Oh no, Toasty. Okay, he's good. And Mother Brain 3 down for Toasty. However, jooniejoone has finished in first place with an SRL time of 1 hour, 18 minutes, and 10 seconds. GG to jooniejoone. Okay, we'll be getting him in for an interview shortly. And Toasty should be finishing as well very quickly. I think it'll be within a minute and a half of Junie, if things go well. Toasty getting that last lean fall. And we are joined by jooniejoone. GG, jooniejoone.
Thank you. Hello.
So that's Seed. And
I couldn't find those suits. I don't know.
yeah, I know. They were so well hidden. Like,
Yeah.
who checks various suit location and who checks high jump? I mean, no one's ever checked those in a randomizer before.
Wow, is that where they were? You know, I went to those locations and I just, my brain must have been playing tricks on me. I thought those were missiles.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah, Toasty actually went down first. Found those suits right away, and he did not look super happy about it, because that would have been an extremely jet seed if you had been doing this normally.
Yeah, it really
you would find both suits, then you would find speed at bottom right part of Bubble Mountain. You would have already had ice. Charge Beam was at Fire Fleece, although you already would have had plenty of supers anyway. Like,
yeah,
this seed was pretty crazy.
You know,
but
and
even still,
I probably would have played it the same anyway. I tend to go up first, and so I probably would have gone up and checked the ship. So this would have been a bad seed for me. And, playing it normally.
Yeah, that would have been probably like a sub 50 from Toasty if he had been playing it normally. But,
heck.
But yeah, that was crazy. Like, so once we realized what you guys were doing and started looking at the seed in that way, it gave you everything. Like,
it did.
Like, it gave you screw attack, high jump, grapple, ice, like space jump, even speed, which isn't super useful for either of the suit lists. Like, it gave you. So.
Well, it's so funny. The first two items that, like major items that I found were ice and grapple. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
This couldn't work out better. And then, like you say, everything else just kind of fell into place. High jump after crate, because that's one thing I was afraid of. Once I found that gravity suit and didn't pick it up, I was like, oh no, something's gonna be up in Meridia, and we're not gonna have
high jumps in Meridia, that would really suck.
Yeah, and then it was like the next item after crate. So.
But yeah, so you guys had really different routings at the beginning, but you ended up at about the same points. You finished Kraid as Toasty was entering Norfair for the second time after having cleared high jump. So he cleared everything out a little bit quicker than you did, but not by much. And you entered Meridia, and he went into Norfair first, and he did Suitless 4 Norfair after pretty much full clearing most of Norfair.
Okay.
And we are joined by Toasty as well. GG, Toasty.
Hey, thank you. Good game, Junie.
Yeah, GG. Did
Toasty,
you find the suits? I couldn't find the suits.
No, I didn't. I found them, but I decided to, make the tactical decision to skip them, to really get an edge over you, just making those skips. I can't be collecting.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm really curious, how did you feel after finding both suits so early, after deciding to not pick them up?
Yeah, no, it was really funny. I thought, that was a jet seed. That was go mode.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was a jet seed, all right. That was, Like, and then with speed booster, right, in Bubble Mountain too, that would have been like a really easy pickup, and pretty wild. So I laughed. I was like, this is pretty funny that they're both right there.
But even still, given what you guys did, this C was basically perfect for that. Like,
yes,
it gave you pretty much everything you needed. So
I had the biggest relief. I was thinking about high jump boots as probably the only item I really can't do Suitless Meridia with. So that was a big relief to find that, and then grapple and ice, and I was like, all right, I can finish this, and it will even probably be more comfortable than a normal RBO.
Yeah, you also skipped 230 missiles both times. Was that intentional the second time? When you that was
good
an
question.
E-tank, so that would have been very useful for you.
Yeah.
But...
Yes. Ouch. That sucks. No, that was not intentional. I knew I was going to come back through that area, and I was like, so it's more optimal to pick it up when I'm already walking right next to it. I totally forgot about it.
Yeah, that's why that happened. but I wasn't 100%.
So I probably should have just done what I always do and get it right away and forget about it.
So
Oops.
another question: if you had one more E-Tank before Croc, would you have skipped Croc?
Probably not.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. Well, that's a good question. I had so much ammo. Maybe there was one E-Tank in Croc, wasn't? Yeah, there was.
Yes,
there was
one.
vanilla.
How many
Yeah.
tanks did you end up with?
10 or 9 or 10, and 2 reserves.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
I
a
think
good
it was
question.
9 and 2 reserves for you, Toasty.
Croc is 5. Yeah, Croc is. I mean, Croc is 5 more, and anything for Lower Norfair is nice. So, and plus there's the refill and the save with the bug farm right there. It's a good question. I was really mad that I blew the spike suit. I was going to use that on the lobby dive.
Yeah, I was curious where you're going to use that.
Yeah,
I guess
I
it
was
was
really
lobby dive.
sad about that. Because I use up, and so I don't even think about using the R buttons in midair as activating sparks. Oh well.
You know what was upsetting for me is while I was clearing wreck ship, I was so hoping that Varia or even Gravity would have been at the E-Tank location.
Oh, yeah.
Because what my plan was to pick it up and take the suit and then intentionally die in Spiky Room of Death, and then just go on without the suit.
That would be pretty awesome. Oh man.
Yeah. I was like, oh please, please, please let it be a suit.
Yeah, that would have been a lot funnier
Yeah.
too if we didn't already know what was going on from Toasty having skipped an item or skipped a suit.
Yeah, I suppose Toasty had already seen the suits by that point.
Yeah. So yeah, I probably would have gone to wreck ship first with more energy. I had like half a tank or something. I don't know. I went down, and it was nice to get high jump boots and know that those were there. And
yeah, that was actually kind of a big deal early because Junie did check that 230 missiles early, so he had the extra E-Tank for most of the race.
That is a big deal actually, because yeah, that would have made the Edakun's area, all that area, easier and comfortable, faster, and maybe that would have convinced me to go ship first. But
that being said, after collecting all of the items while you skipped 230, you were a little bit ahead of Junie. You were going down the north elevator when Junie was leaving Kraid, and Junie decided to. Well, he hadn't checked high jump, but he decided to go straight into suitless anyway. And he did suitless first.
Nice.
As you did Lower Norfair first.
Okay.
And he picked up a couple more items there to be able to do suitless. He also continued picking up ammo well after you decided to stop. I think he had like 55 power bombs or something.
Yeah, I had a lot.
Oh, wow.
I feel like I should have stopped way before I did. I don't know. It was mostly the tanks. I was running around with like 6 tanks and 2 or 3 reserves. And I was like, man, I need more tanks. So I found 1 tank, and I'm like, if I could just find 1 more. And meanwhile, I decided, as long as I'm passing by these power bombs and supers, I might as well pick them up and just have a little bit more comfy Lower Norfair. But yeah,
it did make your Lower Norfair a bit faster. I will say that much because Toasty had to farm a little bit. You basically just didn't have to farm at all. So
yeah.
Did you skip Croc, Junie?
I did, yeah.
He skipped all of Norfair, basically.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
I went and checked Norfair Reserve just because there's 3 items up there.
Right.
And managed to find another E-Tank. So, but other
yeah,
than
that's
that,
actually that's a pretty good play, going to Meridia first and then finding stuff and then skipping. So that's probably. I just didn't think it was. I honestly didn't think it would be this close. I mean, either way, like I'm not saying I would won. Like whoever won would have won by a lot. So I was just like, I'm just gonna check everything, and so I don't die a bunch of times.
Yeah, neither of you took any deaths, which I thought was really impressive given what you guys were doing. So
I was surprised. I mean, I was like, I had no deaths. I mean, I played fast and Lower Norfair and Meridia, and I was like in the escape, and then Junie. I was like, oh, are you kidding me? It was this close.
Yeah, it was really tough to tell who was ahead for most of the race.
Yeah.
Well, and I was just so scared because I was picking up so much extra stuff, and I'm like, man, I need to knock this off because this is Toasty.
Yeah.
Against Toasty. I can't be taking all this time picking up all this stuff. So I was scared. Like I was pretty sure you were gonna die done while I was in the escape.
Yeah, dang, that 230, that's a bummer. I should have really just stuck with what I normally do, because when you change it up at the last minute, you know, you make mistakes, so I totally forgot about it. Totally intended to get it. That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that hurt you. Otherwise, it, like, yeah, the seed gave you pretty much everything. So I think that electing to go to Lore Norfer or electing to go to Meridia first didn't actually end up making that big of a difference. Yeah, it was pretty similar, I think, in terms of time.
There was a reserve at Botany, so that's good.
Yep, there was also reserve at
But yeah,
at Crab Supers, and Junie also picked that one up.
yeah, you know, that was my game. I was worried about that too, Junie. I was like, I have so much stuff, and I'm checking everything. This is bad, but like, I really just didn't want to die, and I was nervous, you know.
Yeah, same.
So mission accomplished there. I'm glad we could have a close race. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching this one back.
I would have been really curious what you guys would have done if you didn't get high jump. Like, how would you have done Suez Meridia?
Do we know where X-Ray was?
Yes.
Yeah, Toasty got it.
Lower Norfair.
Ah, well, that's what I would have done. I would have searched the items in Lower Norfair, and with the X-Ray, could have G-moded into the back of Meridia, and then we had grapple, so you can grapple across. We had space jump. So yeah, I think that would have made it traversable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I would have struggled.
Yeah, would you have done high jump with lava dive to get into Lore Norfer, or would you have had to use a spike suit to?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, where was speed again?
Speed was at Bubble Mountain.
Oh yeah. I would have gotten a spike suit for it because I'm terrible at high jump with lava dive. Plus, with that amount of health.
Yeah, that amount of health with no suits, it would be really tough. Yeah, that was like really fun to watch. It was pretty crazy to see that, like, when we first saw Toasty skipping that suit, it was like, what's going on? Like, I thought that he was leaving and then just gonna come right back, kind of to joke around, and he just kept leaving. And I was like, okay, I guess this is what's happening.
Yeah, I guess I should have taken that tank and that spike suit straight out of Croc. That would have been a good time save for me. Yeah, I didn't find anything in there, so
yeah,
that's okay. There could have been 2 more tanks there. You never know.
Yeah, that's true.
Took me like 20 supers to Green Gate glitch too. That was a bummer.
Yeah, that was rough. That was very rough.
That sucks. Yeah, cost me a little time.
Yeah, it cost you time. I think I think you ended up with enough supers to Crystal Flash all the times that you needed to.
Yeah.
So didn't end up being too bad.
Like, I barely had enough stuff to really do that Lower Norfair, because I ended up with really, like, just barely getting by with ammo, and
I think you had 40 missiles, like 75 supers, and 35 power bombs, I think. So.
Yeah, and I was leaving there with just enough to Crystal Flash again. So.
Yeah, that E-tank behind Ridley was huge, too.
That was big. Yeah, that was crazy. That was happy. So yeah, anyway, good game, Junie. Good luck in the next round. And
yeah, thanks. You too.
Yeah, thank you. We'll have a rematch sometime.
Absolutely. I'm down for it anytime.
Yeah, thanks so much, Zeb, for putting up with our antics, and thank you, everybody. Yeah, thank you, and Varial.
It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Thanks for racing, and thanks for coming in for the interview.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Yep. So with that, I think that we're going to be done here. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure to go follow the runners. And I think that our next race is coming up in like less than half an hour. So we've got we got 4 runners on our SRA2 in half an hour. So look forward to that and see you guys later.